Hey everyone, my name is Matt from Magic the Greatening, and today is another day in which I make a video on a deck. In every video, I usually give you an option to vote for what deck you want to see next, and for the first time ever, two decks got the exact same amount of votes. Well, at least at the time I looked at it and decided to start recording this video, they had the same amount of votes. Either way, Saheeli's Thopters and Sultai Energy were tied in voting, so I got to choose what deck to show off, and I chose this one. The deck is all about making Thopters and a stupid amount of creatures and winning by going wide, but it also has an infinite combo in the deck as well. So for today's episode, I will be showing you Saheeli's Thopters. The deck will cost you around $150, which is on the expensive side, but it costs that much for good reason. The deck is really strong, and I know I say that a lot about my decks, that they're really strong, but trust me on this one. This deck in particular is really strong. While playtesting, I went 5-0 with the deck. 5-0, and if you want to see more details, like what matchups I faced, make sure to check the description. Also, if you want to see me play with the deck, check my channel tomorrow, and you'll get to see 2 games I recorded while playing with the deck. One final thing before we get into the deck in the video. If you want to purchase this deck, or any pieces of it, make sure to check out flipsidegaming.com and use my promo code GREAT at checkout for 10% off of your purchases that are over $10. Just last week, I bought some awesome vampires for my Modern Vampires deck, and my cards were delivered quicker than expected and came in the condition that they were described as. Again, that's flipsidegaming.com. Their website will be linked in my description. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with the engine of this deck, and what makes it shine and outperform most decks in the late game. We're playing 3 copies of Panharmonicon, 4 copies of Decoction Module, and 3 copies of Saheeli Rye. You can now kind of see why I named this deck Saheeli's Thopters. The deck is all about playing Enter the Battlefield effects and abusing them with Panharmonicon and Saheeli Rye. As for the almost out-of-place Decoction Module, I do say almost out of place because this card has a purpose. And no, it's not just for jank. It's an important part in our infinite combo. This is how the combo works. You must have some combination of the following. 3 Decoction Modules plus a Whirler Virtuoso, 2 Decoction Modules plus 1 Panharmonicon plus a Virtuoso, or 1 Decoction Module plus 2 Panharmonicons plus a Virtuoso. Oh yeah, and forgot to kind of mention Whirler Virtuoso, who is a big part of this infinite combo as well, and the sole reason to play Energy in the deck. But with one of these combinations out, every Thopter you create with Virtuoso nets you more energy or exactly the same amount of energy you just spent creating that Thopter, letting you play an infinite amount of Thopters. While this is very cool and all, I do recommend playing this deck with the actual paper cards because getting the combo in Moto just burns your time. Alright, we're gonna create the Thopters now so we can try to draw out a concede. You should see that we're losing 3 energy and then just immediately gaining 3 energy right back because double Panharmonicon plus the Decoction Module. But if he's going to make us play it out, we'll play it out. Yep, keep going. Gonna burn all my time having to hit OK this many times. Well, we got to click it probably, I don't know, how many more times? 10 more times? Great, we're already down a whole bunch of time. This is just going to burn more time because he's not going to concede to the infinite combo. This is fun. Now this deck doesn't need that combo to win. We can abuse other cards and enter the battlefield abilities as well to win. We're playing 3 copies of Angel of Invention, 4 copies of Champion of Wits, 3 copies of Cloudblazer, 4 copies of Glint Crane, and 4 copies of Maverick Thopterist. For sake of clean and neatness, I'll just have the card I'm talking about be the only one on screen, just so it's a bit easier to the eyes. Okay, Angel of Invention is the big one. Having even 1 enter the battlefield trigger with this is insane, but if you have multiple, it's game-breaking. The card can rebuild your board immediately, as well as to give you the option to put a huge Flying Vigilance Lifelinker on the board. It also is an Anthem effect for your entire team, so that's pretty awesome. Champion and Cloudblazer are our card draw engines, specifically Cloudblazer. The card can refill your hand in a heartbeat, or even gain you a stupid amount of life. Maverick Thopterist is a nice card that puts 3 creatures on the board. His Improvise also suits to be a pleasant surprise, since we're playing not only Thopter token cards, but the artifacts of, Panharmonicon and Decoction Module as well. And finally, Glint Crane. I'm really split on this card. Sometimes his ability is awesome. It'll pick you up a free Panharmonicon or Decoction Modules, but other time it whiffs and sends imported sideboarded cards to the bottom of your deck. I found it mostly useful for matchups against Aggro. Having a 1/3 out is actually really relevant. It doesn't die to Shock, it doesn't die to Magma Spray, and can block most of all 1 and 2 drops. Alright, we gotta go Glintless Crane here, which is really good, versus 2 1/1s. Not sure how he's gonna figure a way out of that one. Let's see if this hits anything. Ooh, it hits Panharmonicon. Oh, and Decoction. I think we go Panharmonicon. Yeah, let's go Panharmonicon here. We can. It doesn't affect Ixalan's binding, but it's gonna affect Cloudblazer, and that's gonna be really big to pick up answers and life gain. So Panharmonicon, and just put it on the bottom mini. Wow, so that's really good. Puts out a really good blocker and gets us an important card in our deck. Okay, and now we Glintless Crane for just a blocker. Hopefully he doesn't put anything important on the bottom. And then we get 2 shots at hitting something. Oh, Virtuoso's so good here. So is Saheeli Rye. That's fine. Let's see if we hit anything here. And we whiff again. Oh, no, Maverick Thopters is so good in this situation. I guess we have Angel Invention, so it's not too bad, but that's sometimes why I don't like. Yeah, keep hitting okay. That's sometimes why I don't like Glintless Crane. He's just gonna put important stuff on the bottom of our library. If you want to see the gameplay on the other creatures, you're just gonna have to check out the gameplays I release tomorrow. You'll see their abilities getting quite abused. But finally, for the last few cards in the deck, what good is a standard deck without removal? We're playing 2 copies of Ixalan's Binding and 4 copies of Harness Lightning. I'm finally on board for how good Ixalan's Binding really is. It exiles your opponent's most important non-land permanent and guarantees they can't play another copy of it. Even if it's at sorcery speed, I'm okay with that type of drawback. Then Harness Lightning is just good old removal for all stages of the game. Time for the lands, and this is where the deck gets expensive. You can play the cheesy tap dual lands, but for this deck, I went with 4 Glacial Fortress, 4 Inspiring Vantage, 4 Spirebluff Canal, and I pretty much even split on the basic dual lands for a total of 22 lands. We have a ton of card draw in this deck, so you won't need more than 22. I actually never had a problem getting mana screwed. Sideboard is pretty standard for what you would expect in Jeskai colors. Some Essence Scatters and Negates for mid-range and control. Fumigates for life gain and a sweeper. Magma Sprays against aggro. 1 more Ixalan's Binding just because it's that good. And 2 Solemnity. Now I have to explain this one a bit. Yes, by sideboarding in Solemnity, you give up on the chance for the infinite combo. However, Solemnity is in here solely against the energy matchup, which energy isn't a very good deck when they can't get energy. So usually when you sideboard Solemnity in, you should take out all copies of Decoction Modules and Whirler Virtuosos, which means you're really sideboarding in most of the stuff with Solemnity. I had to explain like this sideboard plan with Solemnity a little bit because I know somebody or a lot of you would complain about it in the comments. That's it for this video, guys. Please make sure to vote for the next deck tech. Mono Big Red didn't get so much love last voting session, so I decided to not put it up for a vote this time. I'll find a replacement deck for it in my next deck tech. Anyway, vote up there, subscribe if you are new, and make sure to hit the like button. It helps out a lot. Alright, I'll see you guys hopefully for that gameplay tomorrow.